It's so funny. Sometimes we get like 1 million people joining in like 2 seconds, and then sometimes it's like there's 3 people or something. People trickle in. I don't know how all this works. Um, how's everyone doing today? Okay, cool. Well, welcome to another thrilling episode of Coffee with Eric. Today will be one of those, I feel like most of the episodes are like this, one of those just kind of random days. There's not like a huge preset agenda today or anything like that. It's mostly been a normal work week for me, just cranking away at trying to get this most recent update out. What am I doing here? So yeah, I've got a few little things I can show today, nothing super exciting. But yeah, as I said, this little minor update, which has turned into a big update, just still working away on this, trying to get finish getting all this new toolbar stuff wired up. Right now, for instance, it says not signed in, even though I am signed in. So that's obviously not 100% wired up yet, but getting there. Also, I got to see if I can see my screen. I'm in my new apartment still and trying to do like the cool, got my city background here, so I'm trying to do this if it works. It just means there's like a lot of light on my monitor, so it's a little harder for me to see what I'm doing here. House tour. I suppose I should do a house tour. We're almost fully moved in here. We still have to hang some stuff in the bedroom though, so I feel like I should do a house tour when the bedroom is done. Technically, this is the bedroom, but I kind of use it as my office though too, just because it has this cool city view out the side, and I don't know. I love coding with like city views in the background for whatever reason. It's just my thing. Especially like at night when you get all the cool like city lights and stuff. Put on some like, hackery music. It just feels very cyberpunk somehow. Merp. Hide my little mess I got here. So what's new with everybody? How's life? Going? Cool. Oh, nice. Term break coming up. Do you have a lot of like tests and stuff going on right now? Is it like the super stressful end of the term sort of thing? Oh, sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to answer code-related questions. That sounds good. Like I said, I always feel kind of bad when I don't have cool stuff to show. So if I can, answer code questions or something useful, that's great. Okay. Need all the widgets of the new things which you made it in all the corners of the main menu. Okay, so yeah, like all this stuff, like this is mostly just referred to as like toolbars, or the toolbar mode. And toolbar mode is this new thing, if anyone doesn't know, where basically there's just like ever-present constant things at the edges of the screen, and you can like change what's there, but they're kind of like automatic. For instance, if you run on small mode, so this is like what it's like on a phone, then you'll see like these toolbars like change a bit more as you're bouncing around. Like if you go to the shop, some disappear. If you go, yeah, things come in and out at certain times. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of like the toolbar stuff. So what's the question here? Account button, league, ticket, token, blah, 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 blah. I can get buttons, but not other widgets like text and image. So So we can expose stuff as needed. Right now, this whole section is a little bit hard-coded. I'm kind of just like trying to get it to do exactly what I need it to do for now. But my thought is like eventually we can generalize it a little bit more where, you know, you could put whatever stuff you want up here or down here. And then Windows can just, you know, say like which of it they want to have turned on or off. I'll have to think about that a little bit in terms of like what would make sense. But for right now, I mean, we can add things if we come into like where all this stuff lives is under source, Ballistica. Where is it? It's all UIV1, widget, root widget. It's this magical thing called the root widget. So if you come into here, into the root widget.cc, the C++ code, yeah, you'll see this big, how big is this file? 1,200 lines, that's not that big. Yeah, this big C++ class that contains like all the stuff for this, you know, the top and bottom of the screen. So you can see all this random achievements button, account button, tokens meter button, et cetera, et cetera. And right now there's like a there's a function to basically return parts of this. Oh yeah, get special widget. So there's this here, and this returns a widget pointer. And so this is basically, it takes a hard-coded list of like, this is the stuff you can ask for, the inbox button, the settings button, the store button. And that will return those particular widgets. If we want, yeah, if you want some other specific thing, like one of the images or whatever, it just means we just need to add another section or another entry here. You know, just come up with a name, like if we want to get, I don't know, the image for the trophy section, you know, because all this stuff is widgets under the hood. So, you know, it's like text widgets, image widgets, button widgets. So if you just want to add any extra things here, that's probably fine. Yeah, feel free to submit a PR. I'll check it over, but hopefully you can kind of see how this stuff is working here, where it's basically this thing creates all those widgets, and then it has that function to like get special ones if you want. So I hope that answers number one at least. Like I said, just if we want to add stuff, we can. If you want to add stuff, feel free. And how to get the parent widget of a widget. Oh, you want to get the parent? I think there's a way to do that. It's been a while. Or is it? Maybe. I'm actually not sure. There might not be a way to do that. We could certainly create a way to do that. Maybe I'm thinking of children. Maybe there's a way to get like widget children. So if we come in here, let's look at the Python class for widgets. So UIV1 Python class UI widget. So currently in Python land, there's like one widget class, which it basically wraps, you know, one of the native widgets. And so, you know, whether it's a button or an image or any of those native widgets, it's all contained within like this widget class for Python. Sort of how nodes are. If you're doing like scene nodes, there's just like one Python's node class, even though under the hood there's a lot of like node types, if that makes sense. But anyway, so this is where the Python widget class is defined. So we can see if there's anything here for, I think there's something here for children. Oh yeah, so there's get children. Is that hooked up to Python? Oh yeah, you can see here, Python class widget TP methods. This is, if you're coding Python stuff like native C++, or you know, native Python stuff in C or C++, you define like all of these little structs and things to basically tell Python like, hey, this is how this class works. This is the functions on this class. So TP methods, this is like type methods for the Python type. So you can see the widget class has an exists method. It has a get widget type method, an activate method, get children method. So probably the best thing to do here is we could just do the equivalent, like a get parent method, or an attribute. There's another way you can, so there's, you know, methods or functions you can call on these things, but then you can also add attributes. So that's another option. I don't know if there's attributes here. And an attribute, oh yeah, here we go. Type get attro. So this is if you have a widget in Python and you're like getting an attribute on it, like widget.foo, you know, it'll look for like the foo attribute. It doesn't look like we're actually, okay. Yeah, it's just getting the name of the attribute and then fall back to generic behavior. So we're not actually exposing any attributes, I guess, on widgets. You can see some of these other classes, like, maybe none of the UI classes have it, but if you do, if we come into like base, like BA base, Python, class, let's look at something in here. So we got env. I think, does env? I think env has a bunch of attributes. TP get attro. Okay, well this is doing something kind of fancy, but it's looking for, let me find a simpler one. Nope, there's no get attro there. One of these things has got to have an attribute in it. Nope. What about simple sound? I bet there's an attribute in here. Nope. Okay, I guess the one place, actually probably the scene stuff. Okay, I'm almost done here. Scene v1, let's go to the Python stuff here. Under scene v1, we've got a bunch of stuff here. So, player, I know player has attributes. Okay, so here you can see like here's the get attribute function, and then it just goes through like the attributes. Like if they're asking for ID, then return this. If they're asking for input device, return this. So anyway, you can look through this code if you want to see how to expose attributes for something. So if you wanted to, we could expose an attribute for like widget.parent, and then that attribute would return either, you know, a widget or none, depending on what its parent is, something like that. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, in this case, it looks like we either need like a get parent function or a parent attribute. And then hopefully you could see, if you look through this Python code, you could see how that would be added. Okay, now let me scroll through the 10 pages that I've ignored while doing that little demo. Merp. Hello, hello, hello. Shotgun sound, 100% damage. I like it. Uh-oh. In Python, oh, well, I was showing Python. It's just like there is currently no Python method to get that stuff. So I was just showing you how you would add the Python method to get that stuff. So we would have to do it in C++, but basically it would be exposing some way to get widget parents in Python. So I hope that made sense. But yeah, it's like all the stuff you're working with in Python is defined in C++. So if we want to add a new a function like get the widget parent, we have to do a little bit in C++. We could just make a function to get the root widget, which contains all the blah, blah, blah widgets. So the interesting thing with the root widget is that it's kind of a complicated beast in that under the hood, well, let's see. Yeah, I mean, under the hood, it is constantly hiding and showing things and creating widgets and, you know, doing various things. It'll probably be doing even fancier stuff in the future. So it's not really something where I want to expose it just as like a container widget and make it easy to just add arbitrary children. That's why I defined it as this special like root widget and not as just like a normal container widget, because I could have just made it as like a container widget and then added a bunch of stuff, with Python code. But to get it to do like all the fancy stuff it does, like, automatically move things to the screen edges and automatically hide and show widgets and things like that, like it has to be kind of this special beast. So, it'd be great, like I said, it'd be great to allow adding, whatever custom widgets. It's just, we'll have to do that in like a special way. We'll have to be like, okay, add this button and add it to the top left group, And so when when it's moving these things around, then it knows to like move that button with it, if that makes sense. So it's a little fancier than just like a container where you can just like dump widgets under it. Root widget.16, it says container widget. Let me go take a look at that. It might be inheriting from container widget because essentially it might be like a special type of container widget. Where am I going? UIV1, widget, root widget. .h. Yeah, so it is a public container widget. So it technically is a container widget. It's a special smart container widget that like automatically moves its children around. So yeah, like I said, we would just need to do something where like if you add another widget to it, you would need to inform it of like how much space that widget should take up and when that widget should be hidden or shown and like which corner that widget should go in. You know what I mean? So like I said, that would be great to do. It's just we have to like add a little bit of smarts to do it. That'd be cool. Yeah, just press the bomb button, get a little Easter egg. I do. That is one of the things. I know I'm so backlogged, and it's taking me so long to get this update out and to get 1.8 out. But yeah, I really like one of the things that was mentioned was having custom textures for the bomb logo, or kind of like different like modded versions of the intro here, and that got me thinking even more. Like right now, we got the cool new animation of the bomb spinning in. It'd be super cool to just like make all of this moddable easily to where like you could make your own bomb icon or make your own like intro animation or something for having the letters come in. It just seems like something silly that would be fun to mod. And then yeah, maybe something like that could be part of it, like Easter eggs. Like if you click the bomb, I don't know, it does something cool. But yeah, to answer your question, it is a container widget. You might actually, I would be curious. I mean, I guess the root widget isn't exposed to Python, but if it was exposed and you just add a child widget to it, I imagine it would act like just any other container widget. It just like that child widget wouldn't get moved around magically. It'd be interesting to try, but it would probably be broken. Anyone know C++? C++ is, it is it's not that scary. I mean, it's a little bit scary. Like the scary thing with C++, if you don't know it, is that, like they always say, it gives you a lot of rope that you can hang yourself with. There's a lot of really fancy functionality in C++ compared to like Python. And the problem, I think a lot of people run into with C++ is that, people try to get too ambitious and use that fancy functionality, and it really just makes things too complicated. So I think the trick with C++ is to like limit yourself and only use parts of it that make sense. Because it just has so many features. It's just like this, and some of them, they don't work well together, or, they slow things down, or, they're not memory safe or whatever. So it's very powerful, but a little bit of a scary language. But like the basics of it aren't really that different from like Python or something. It's just you have to worry about memory management and pointers and things like that, which is a little bit hairy. I'm curious, do any of you know C++, or are you most of you folks Python people? Has anyone messed with C++ at all? Learning currently? Cool. Are you taking a class or just learning on your own? I should clear all these DMs out. I'm bad about checking my DMs, but I shouldn't I shouldn't do it in the stream. I'm not an engineer. I feel like Python is something, if you're not, if you don't consider yourself a coder, it's still useful to learn Python for various reasons. But C++, I feel like once you get into C++, you're kind of officially a coder at that point. It does seem like this threshold. If you're doing C++, you're kind of a programmer. Or, you're software engineer, whatever word you want to use. Lost stuff, huh? If you want to ping me after this, I can hopefully notice or hopefully check into that. Those do seem to happen occasionally. You get people that just, their account gets lost for some reason or another. I definitely want to prevent that from happening. I mean, I'm not sure what would cause that. If Google is changing account IDs under the hood or some weird thing like that. PB, okay. Yes, I will. Yeah, if you can DM me, I'll try to go through my DMs. Can't really look into it right at the moment. Say more of a debug guy. Well, that's a big part of it, like being able to debug stuff, or at least, if you can, compile existing code or something on GitHub and get it running, and then go in there and like tweak it a little bit. I mean, I feel like that's a huge part of it. I think it's very, very rare when you're actually writing something completely from scratch in like C++. At least for me, I'm usually 99% of the time I'm just tweaking existing stuff. There's not a whole lot of like writing fresh things. It's harder than playing Fortnite. Oh man, I guess harder than being good at, like, I can play Fortnite, but I'm not good at Fortnite. Though I haven't played it in a while. I think the last time I was playing Fortnite, it was still like building and all that stuff was in there, and then they took that out, which I'm kind of happy about because I sucked at all the building part. Okay, I will try to take a look. Hey, Vortex. Glad to meet you, Bahu. I guess that's how you say it. Bahu, Behu, Bahu. Okay, well, let's see. So one little interesting thing I'm showing, it's not quite done yet, but I can just show you what I'm working on. So basically what I'm in the middle of right now, like I said, I'm wiring this stuff up, like all these toolbars, trying to make them talk to the server just so they kind of magically update when your stuff on the server updates. So anytime, your tokens changes or your league state on the server, it just like magically updates the client. So it has this kind of like subscription relationship. I don't know if anyone's done like web coding, you've probably heard that term, like subscribe to this channel or whatever, and then it updates your web UI automatically when that value changes. So I'm just trying to basically build a simplified version of that just to get this stuff like updating automatically. And so to do that, I'm having to debug a lot of things and doing a lot of like logging and log messages and stuff like that. So I'm trying to improve the logging a little bit on Bomb Squad client. And so as part of that, it's kind of may concern modders. I'm adding this new like logging section here under the dev console here. So basically, this is all dummy data right now. But basically, what this will do is there's going to be a bunch of like sublogs under Ballistica. So there's the root Python log, BA log, and BA dot whatever. Like these aren't real names, but it'll be various things, just like graphics, audio, whatever, like subsystems and stuff. So the cool thing is then you can come in here and basically just like mess with your Python debugging or logging levels. So if you want to like debug graphics stuff or something like that, there'll be like a graphics section and you can just put it under like debug. And then you'll get like tons of debug logs for graphics stuff. Or same with I don't know, like account stuff or, various different things of the game. So this will be super useful for me at least, for kind of debugging stuff. Right now I have to go in and like hard code, add like little messages if I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But this should make it a lot easier to just, go in here and like crank up logging so I can see a whole bunch of stuff easily. And also this could be useful for if you're, writing your own mods. You can set up your own log, like ba.mycoolmod, whatever. And then that should show up here, and then you can basically turn debugging, logging off and on. That's one thing I've learned is very useful over recent years, is just putting tons of log messages in places and then just making it so I can turn those off and on. And so this is basically what this will be used for. It used to be like when I was first learning to code, like what I would do is I'd throw a bunch of like print statements in there, to get things working, which is useful. Like you guys have probably done some of that. But then when it's working, then I would just like rip all those print statements out. But then the problem was, like, if something broke, then I'd be kind of stuck. You'd have to go back in and re-add some of those print statements and try to figure out what broke slowly. So what I found that works well is just to add a bunch of log messages in there. And with like Python logging, if you have like debug messages for logs, and then logging is usually not set to debug. So if logging is set to like info or warning or error or like a higher level, then all those debug messages never even get shown. So it's basically like no ops. So what's really handy is in your mods or in any code you're doing, just like throw debug print or debug logs all over the place and then just have them turned off. So it doesn't add too much expense. And then you'll be able to basically come into this UI and like flip your logging on, and then you can kind of, if something broke or if you're trying to debug something, it's just a very handy way to work with things. So this should be, I should be wrapping this up, I think probably today, and I'll get this into the latest 1737 builds. This also, I know I've been giving people like little environment variables to set to kind of see extra logging stuff for debugging like account connection issues and stuff like that. And this should replace all that. So this should give people a way to just come in here and like turn debug logging on for accounts and then restart the game, and you'll see like extra stuff. So you can kind of, that should help us like debug like why someone can't connect from Iran, or the various problems with connections that come up. Fix your hair. Oh no, my hair. I can't fix my hair. This is, I mean I can, but that's the bad thing with this background here. I feel like it like highlights my my messy hair. I do need a haircut. I got to get a haircut in the next day or two, so my hair will be fixed at some point here. But thank you for the heads up. Well, I do. Oh shoot, there's this one spot sticking out. Oh, maybe that's better. I need to get like some proper like studio lighting here or something like that, so I have a bit more control about. Like right now, I love the city background, but the problem is like if it's a sunny day, then it's like so blown out. I think I tried to do that 2 streams ago, and then I look like some dark shadowy government figure. But today it's foggy, so I can kind of have the city background, but then it does like halo my hair a little bit and stuff. I love I go back and forth between Python logging, debugging, and hair fashion. Is Python works like Scratch? Is Python? Not quite sure what you're meaning here. Is Python works like Scratch? Are you mean like is it regular Python? I am well aged. I mean, this lighting is kind of, I feel like all the lighting around here is like highlights, makes me look older. So that's another reason I need to get better lighting. But I am like in my 40s. I'm freaking old. So yeah. I mean, with good lighting, I don't look too bad. But yeah, if you get if you get like backlighting or something, you can tell I'm in my 40s. It's weird. We can play Bomb Squad on PC. There is a PC version. So there's, if anyone doesn't know, there's PC test builds. The plan, the grand master plan is for version 2.0. The game will officially come out on PC and iOS. I know I'm taking forever to get there, but that is still the plan. But for now, in the meantime, if you go to ballistica.net under downloads, there should be Windows test builds. So all the latest stuff, there's always a latest test build for Windows. You can also go to GitHub. You should be able to, there should be info here. You should be able to build the Windows version, at least most of it, yourself if you want to. Oh, not actions. What am I doing? So coming to wiki, getting started. There's some info about Windows. You can do full. There's some extra bit about actually compiling like the C++ stuff. That's in here somewhere. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, native layer. So if you want to like actually bust out Visual Studio and compile, most of the game in C++, so you can kind of get your hands dirty and learn some of that stuff. That's possible too. We play. Yeah, we should do that again. We should do a game at the end. That was fun. That epic capture the flag, or not capture the flag, the King of the Hill. That last round of King of the Hill was awesome last time. That was like one of the most. It was just so like perfectly balanced. It was like one of the more fun King of the Hills I've played. Oh, okay. So you're saying like some Bomb Squad code has helped you, and I mean I hope that Bomb Squad is useful in terms of like you're learning Python, and that can help you in jobs and school and other places. I mean that's kind of why I started writing Bomb Squad, like Python. The Python part is because I wanted to learn Python for work. I was doing visual effects and animation and stuff like that, and so Python was very useful for that, and so I wanted to kind of learn it a bit, and so used it in the game, and then it just kind of expanded from there. But yeah, that's great if for one, if you can have fun tinkering with the game, but then two, if you can learn Python, that's a bonus. I mean, Python is, I think it's like the #1 language now, or isn't it? It's one of the top programming languages 2024. Yeah, I mean JavaScript and Python, I feel like those are always two. It's always up in the top somewhere. So TypeScript, Python, JavaScript. Ooh, labor demand. Let's see this. Oh, that's opinion. I don't want opinions. Ooh, Python's down #3 here. Okay, well, yeah, web stuff, that makes sense. But it's close. It's always close to the top. Which I'm happy about. Like I mean, I started writing this thing a long time ago, so I could have actually, gone with Perl or some other language that is kind of dead at this point. So got lucky, I guess. Oh, thank you. Get root widget. Okay. Cool. Yeah, this should do it, I think. My only question would be like, is that going to be useful? Like like I said, the root widget is kind of intended to be this like magical thing that sort of takes care of itself. But if it's useful to expose it for some reason, like we certainly can. Oh, well, thank you for the, yeah, I will be getting a haircut soon, and I usually color my hair a bit, but it's probably, the backlighting is probably making it look grayer or something. What new things will come with the new coins? Yes, so yeah, I'll answer both these questions. What will come, what new things will come with the new coin? So the new token system, if anyone's not familiar with that, so this whole, which just showed up, I believe, in the last minor update, but it'll be a lot more prevalent once this silly 1737 update is done. Whoops. Yeah, the whole tokens thing, tokens and gold pass. This is kind of like, I'll give the Cliff Notes version. Is basically I'm wanting to move all of the monetization for the game away from tickets and into tokens. So tickets are still going to be around. Tickets aren't going anywhere. It's just tickets are going to be mostly in-game. So mostly like you earn tickets by, just playing rounds, playing tournaments. There'll be a lot more easier. It'll be easier to get tickets. So that'll be good. But then the only purchasable currency is going to be tokens, and tokens will mainly be used to just like skip waits and little kind of standard free to play stuff like that. Like when you win a tournament or get a good score in a co-op game or something like that, you'll get a treasure chest here, and there'll be a timer on it. So pretty standard things. Your treasure chest will open after some amount of time. But if you want to open it immediately, you can pay a few tokens for that. So it's just kind of a way to speed the game along a little bit if you want. And the reason I did that is just, like I said, because then I can make it easier to get tickets. I can make the game more fun. I don't have to like do this weird balancing act where I make it too hard to get tickets in the game because I want people to buy tickets. So I think this will just like simplify the game a lot. So basically tokens will just be for unlocking stuff, skipping waits and unlocking stuff. And then there's also the gold pass there, which is if you're annoyed by free-to-play stuff, you can just get the gold pass and then all the tokens basically go away. And then you never have to wait for anything and you have infinite tokens essentially. So that's kind of the plan for just monetization, or just the how the game will work. It should just, my goal is to like simplify the money part of the game, just so I don't have to spend too much time trying to balance that or whatever, just to get that to like take care of itself, and then I can focus on like the fun parts. But yeah, I do, to be blunt, the game does have to make money so I can afford to keep working on it and all that. So I'm hoping this will be something that's a good balance. So it'll be easier for me to, not have to spend a lot of time balancing it, and I can work on the fun part of the game, and then it'll also still make enough money so I can keep working on the game. Ooh, loading. Cool. One question I have: do you normally like there should be a progress bar if the game's taking a while to come up? Like, do you never see a progress bar? Problem with the game, in the middle of the game I open settings, it automatically closes. There was a bug like that on a recent version. So yeah, there was an issue where if you were in the game and you come to the menu and hit settings, like settings would automatically close then, but that should be fixed. So are you still seeing something like that? And if you are, would you be able to just like record a video and send it to me, or post it here in the dev channel or something? Oh, so do we earn chests, or they just, yeah, the plan with chests is that they will be just earnable anytime if you win eventually the plan is with squads mode to have, competitive play where, you just hop on and you play against other squads. And so if you win one of those, you get a chest. For right now, it'll probably be like anytime if you complete a co-op level, or even if you don't complete, depending, that's still up in the air and it may change, but I want to have chests be pretty easy to get, but they won't be purchasable. Like, you can't, that's one that I want to avoid, like the sleazy, gotcha feel that, free-to-play games have sometimes. So you can't like purchase treasure chests. They're only from like when you win a game of some sort. But that's the plan, is like you'll get them if you win a tournament, if you win a regular game, even if you get a good score on, like an infinite game or something like that. So that'll be mostly just how you like acquire tickets or other things. It'd be cool to add like other stuff in the future that you could maybe randomly get when you beat levels or whatever. So whenever you do that, you'll get treasure chests, and then you can open those treasure chests after a bit of time. Or if you have the gold pass, you can open them immediately or whatever. So I'd love to know. Yeah, we have been playing. Like I said, at the end of today, we should play around. So tournaments. Yeah, what I was talking about with tournaments. I mean, there's the existing tournaments right now, which is just the co-op tournaments. You know, play co-op, all these things. So the plan is now, like when you win one of these tournaments, right now when you win a tournament, you see a little message pop up here, like, hey, you got, 30 tickets and this or whatever. But in the future, I plan to make use of this, like the little inbox thing, where it's basically going to say like, hey, you won this tournament, like claim your prize or whatever. So that'll just be kind of a different way to do what it's already doing now. And of course, when you win a tournament, you'll always still get the medals. Like that's not going to change. And those probably won't. Well, maybe they'll be. I don't know if the medals will, if you'll get those instantly, or if that'll be part of the chest, treasure chests. Because I don't want you to like lose. I would never want you to like lose a medal that you've gotten. And so what will happen is like you can have. I'm just copying from other games do this. I feel like it's kind of a simple system. Is you can have up to 4 treasure chests at a time. So if you're waiting for them to open, and then you play another game, it'll warn you like you can't get more treasure chests. So you won't. If you just play a co-op game, but you already have 4 chests down here, it'll be like, hey, you should either open one of these or you just won't get a chest for this play. But for tournaments, I want to. I feel like you should always get the reward for tournaments. So I'll have to figure that out. It'll probably be like you'll see it on your inbox, just like, hey, you have a chest from a tournament. Like, claim your chest. But if you already have 4 here, it'll be just like, oh, you can't claim it until you have a slot. Something like that. We'll figure it out. Man, all the personal questions here today. Okay, I promise a house tour once we get our bedroom done. So there's no we have to hang up a bunch of like lights and pictures in our bedroom. So I think next time we can do a house tour. Oh, this is cool. A little bit more contrasty. And shadows, very nice. So is this shadow like baked into the texture? Yeah, I know I'm always saying this, but man, it would be fun to just focus on graphics for a while. I would love to just update the graphics, get them more modern and taking more advantage of like a good GPU. But I'm trying to force myself to not focus on that until like 2.0 is done. So, because there's already this big list of stuff I need to finish for 2.0. So anytime I add something more to the list, it either, it just delays things. Yeah, I guess, yeah, there's an interesting point. Yeah, it looks like the light is coming from up here. I mean, the lighting, like when I photographed all this stuff, it was very, very like ambient lighting. So just kind of light coming from all directions. So I feel like it doesn't look too bad. But yeah, I guess there's certain things like you would expect like these parts to be brightly lit, kind of, or more brightly lit, because it seems like light would be hitting them directly. So or there's like this shadow here, which is a little odd, but in general it looks cool. It's neat to see it with like more crisp lighting. It's just kind of different. Like I said, I modeled everything or photographed everything with very intentionally very like soft lighting. Like I didn't want to have like harsh shadows. Oh, that's harsh. No, I know Bosnia. A friend of mine, I was playing, going back to when I was playing Fortnite a few years ago with my cousin and a friend of his, um, and his friend actually moved to the U.S. from Bosnia, I think in the '90s or something. So yeah. So I know someone from Bosnia. Well, it looks good. Yeah, it's funny. Like criticism is a funny thing. Yeah, like don't ever let criticism like bother you too much. It's for me. It was funny when I was back when I was working at Pixar. It was interesting to see. You'd work on a shot for the movie for a movie, and then you'd show it in front of the director and various you know art directors and various people and other people working on the movie, and so like everyone would have, not everyone, but a lot of times there were a ton of different comments or feedback on something, and a lot of them would be different. So there's like a fine art of trying to take feedback or take criticisms, like figure out like what is useful criticism and what is just you know I mean, I think constructive criticism can be good, but don't like listen to all criticism or all feedback, because everyone's going to have a different opinion on something, and a lot of times they will completely contradict each other. But it was funny when we were working on the movies, at the beginning of the movie when we'd be in the reviews, there'd be I noticed this a few times at the beginning of the movie. There'd be a lot more feedback and like, oh, why this could be different. That could be different. Like a lot more kind of brainstorming. By the end of the movie, though, it's just like everyone is working pretty fast to try to get the movie done, and by the end of the movie, it's just like people have learned to like keep their criticisms minimal. Like the director, especially, you show something and they would be like, okay, just maybe tweak that one thing and then you're done. So it's like this big, yeah, like focusing that happens. Oh, that's interesting. Is this another like painted shadow that like this one is more like crisp. Another reason I wanted to keep all the lighting very like soft in the game is that it doesn't have, you know, it doesn't have like fancy lighting on the characters and stuff, so you can't really like the lighting doesn't change when a character goes into like a shadowed part of the map and stuff. So I didn't want to have like really strong shadows just because that would be more evident, that like the character is not actually being shadowed right now. Though that would be cool again. Like I said, it would be super fun to just go to town on, you know, tweaking the graphics or making the graphics better, or making like a render that is just purely based on ray tracing or something for like a fancy GPU. Oh no, my camera, I think it should be following me. Yeah, see? Ta-da! Sort of. Oh, interesting, yeah. That's got to be interesting. Or I'd be curious, like, as a player playing in a stadium like that, like if that messes with you. Um, I guess players, all have tons of different stuff to deal with. Different weather and yeah, crazy lighting and stuff like that. So that's cool. Mystery power. Yeah, that would be interesting. I remember. I think there used to be something like that in Bomberman, or like the Bombermans that I would play. It would just be, it's like in Mario Kart where you have the box where it's just like spinning through all the different like possibilities. So that would be an interesting dynamic. Or just what if all power ups were like that? If all power ups give you a random thing, that'd be It'd be interesting to try. I'd be curious like how that would feel. Bot ally would be super cool. I've talked about this before though. The problem with that is it's basically impossible to have a bot that knows how to play all the mini games. You'd have to program a bot specifically for each and every mini game, which would make it essentially really hard to add new mini games. So that's why the bots are very limited to like specific maps and specific play modes, unfortunately. It'd be really neat, like I said, to have a generic bot. Maybe with like the magic of AI, we can like code a bot that like learns how to play all the games. That would be super ambitious, but super cool. But then that worries me too, because then people would like plug those bots in to play for themselves, and then it would just become an arms race of like who's got the smartest bot playing for them. No humans involved. It's like a dead internet theory. Have you guys heard of that? Saying that like there's some theory saying like 70% of internet traffic and comments on forums and everything else is just bots talking to each other. There's not actually people anywhere anymore. But yeah, that's my hope. I mean, with Bomb Squad being so kind of woozy and physicsy, and it feels like a game that would be hard to write a bot that is good at everything. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen for a long time. To where it's still like, or I'm hoping that it's not easy to make a bot that would be better than a person in Bomb Squad, I guess is what I'm saying. Because that is one nice thing is once the games are running on servers, then I have control of servers, and then anyone playing on that server, hopefully it should be basically impossible to cheat. Because one thing Bomb Squad has is like a first-person shooter. There's lots of ways you can cheat with that, with like wall hacks and things like that. If someone hacks their client to be able to just, hey, don't draw the wall, and then suddenly like you can see everyone else on the map or whatever. So there's plenty of ways to like get an unfair advantage there. But with Bomb Squad is basically everyone sees everyone else, and so there's nothing like hidden. There's nothing that a client can like change to get an advantage in most cases. So I'm hoping to get to a place, where once competitive games are all played on like neutral servers that I control, so I know that they're not hacked. Then I'm hoping Bomb Squad could be a nice, fair competitive game at some point. Like right now, up until now, the big problem has been people hacking their own copy of the game and submitting, modded scores. You give yourself like some weird advantage on your local copy, and then you play a tournament game and you get some awesome score. So like that's the one way it's possible to hack right now, and it's been a pain in the butt to try to fight against that. But once all the gameplay is actually happening on the server, then that should hopefully not be a problem anymore. So I'm hoping to get to a place where Bomb Squad is not a very hackable game, or a fair competitive game is what I mean. Well, there's more than just this, though. It's, this would be a first useful step is, have them not kill teammates and teach them how to fly. But still, like, a big thing is teaching them how to, like, navigate terrain. Like, they really don't know how to navigate terrain right now. That's why if you notice all the maps that have bots on them are basically flat, because the bots are kind of just programmed and with simple, like, 2D logic. Like if there's an enemy this way, press my control stick towards the enemy. But if there were like ramps or things you had to jump over, or mazes, like that would be a whole different set of complexity. Which is, of course, it would be doable, but with physics and all that stuff, it would be very tricky. And then plus, if you add in all the different play modes, like teaching, there might be strategies for winning specific games, like like King of the Hill or something. That's a whole different set of the play style of a King of the Hill game is totally different than a play style for deathmatch. Deathmatch is just like try to kill the bad guys, and so you could teach a bot to do that, and you could teach them to do King of the Hill also. It's just like try to get to the flag and now kill anyone near the flag and then stay by the flag. But it's like you'd have to teach them specifically how to do that one game, and then if you made another variation of King of the Hill where, yeah, I mean, I guess we have Keep Away, which is kind of like King of the Hill, but you're holding the flag. So you'd have to teach the bot how to do Keep Away, and there'd be a whole different set of rules there. Like, oh, you want to carry the flag around, but if someone gets near you, you might want to drop the flag and like punch them and then pick the flag back up. So you're like thinking of all these strategies we do on all these different mini games, and then trying to write bots that could do all of that. That would be very hard. Like it would almost be easier, like I said, not easier, but coding some generic AI thing for a bot that would just like slowly learn. Like it would start off just like having no idea how to do King of the Hill, but after playing it many, many times, it would slowly like learn like, oh, okay, I need to hold the flag here, or stand in this particular spot. But still, that seems like a very, very challenging problem, is to try to come up with a bot that would be able to understand all maps and all game types and whatever. Like that would be very. To me, that seems like very, very advanced like AI. Yeah, it's interesting to see what servers have done, older servers or even newer servers with like PBIDs and stuff, assigning different admins or different rights, different user rights based on your PBID and stuff. It was funny. I forgot when it was. I think when I added V2 accounts, there was issues with some servers where like. A V2 account is, it's a whole like different account system. Like your account lives on a different server, et cetera. It's more secure. But then it also basically, as part of that, it gives you it's like a different type of V1 account. Like, so that's why you have the V2 icon. So there used to be the different account types like, Google Play or whatever. But then V2 is like, it's essentially, the game sees it as a new type of V1 account. And there'd be servers that would like not recognize that and just like kick them out. So I remember when V2 accounts were new, there were certain servers no one could join because they would just like kick people out. Because like, what is this V2 account? That's not real. What is the arg for BS timer to hold action? You mean like the one, like the function that you pass it, like the callable? I would have to check. Oh, that's cool. Nice. That should be in the docs. I mean, the docs should still be getting updated, I believe. If you come down here, docs, latest version, 22025. Yeah, this stuff should be up to date. So I believe the timer functions should be in here. So I assume you want, yeah, BAC and V1. There's app timer. There should just be a regular timer, base timer. I think just timer. Yeah, call, that's the name of the arg. Is that what you're asking? Or yeah, time, call, repeat. Those are the three. Yeah, this is one thing. It's still, I mean, the custom servers are still kind of based around V1 accounts. I would like to, at some point, I need to, make it more possible to use V2 accounts, because V2 accounts or to like access players' V2 account info, because V2 accounts are a lot harder to spoof, or you can't just like make a new V2 account by editing a text file like you can with V1 accounts. Oh, hi, Steve. It would be fun to just be, I don't know, make like a Minecraft inspired map or something. That would be kind of interesting. Though I'd want to make it like in real life. That would be so almost more like Legos or something. That'd be interesting. Like get a bunch of like wooden square blocks. Like they have to be like square like Minecraft, you know, and then just like build a map out of that, but in real life. Like that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, in general, it's been a long, slow migration to like V2 accounts. But like I said, it's much more difficult for people to abuse V2 accounts. So once everything is using V2 accounts, that'll be good. Like if you want to make a V2 account, you have to do at least like a CAPTCHA and stuff like that, and have an email address. So it should at least significantly slow down hackers. Are we getting new maps? This is the plan for 1.8, which is taking me way too long to get to, but yeah, 1.8 is on the way. The big feature for 1.8 is downloadable assets. So if anyone hasn't heard, basically the idea is that I'll be able to add new maps or new characters or whatever, and then people will just be able to like download those when you join the server, essentially. So that should make it a lot easier to like make new cool stuff and get it out there in the world, because you don't have to like have a bunch of people install a bunch of files, which is a huge barrier to entry for anything. It'll be more just like you make a map and you upload the map, through the ballistico.net. I will be doing a bunch of demos and things. I did a few previously, like some basic ones, but like the asset packages system, like this is how you'll create maps and things like that here. I will too. I'm making this all like for myself to use, but just trying to make it so other people can use it too. So that's why it's a slow process, because I'm just trying to like build this whole ecosystem. It's not like I'm just trying to like update a few maps using the existing stuff, but yeah, there's this whole asset package system, which is kind of most largely done, but there's still a few missing pieces. But the plan is for 1.8 that this stuff will all be functional and usable by everybody. Oop, I just made a new asset package. I didn't want to do that. Delete. Okay. So yeah, my philosophy with this stuff now is like any new thing I make, I'm trying to just build it like as an online tool that I can use, but then anybody else can use it also. So it's like I said, a long, slow process, but the end result is that hopefully everyone will be able to make stuff exactly the same as I can make stuff. So it'll be, it should be a lot of fun just to see like what maps people come up with, or what play modes, or mini games or whatever, and then we can feature those in like online tournaments and stuff like that. So that's the vision of the future that I'm slowly working towards. Game idea. Oh, that's interesting. One man is big, has a lot of health, and hard to kill. 5 people playing against him to kill him, if this is possible. That would be a lot of fun. Right now it would be difficult because there's no controls to make like a spaz character bigger, but that would be super cool. That would be something where I'm trying to keep that in mind for like future revisions of the gameplay. Like right now we just have, if you're familiar with all these feature sets, they're called, but Scene V1 is like the classic existing version of gameplay with all the spaz nodes and prop nodes and everything else. Future ones like Scene V2 or Scene V57, whatever. Like what I'd love to have is I'd love to have it be more general, where you can scale things up, do more with the physics, because I freaking love physics simulation stuff. So at some point that would be great, like to have one person, one player controlling like a giant slow moving character or something, and then the other 5 people just like bombing the heck out of them. It's like a boss fight. Like that'd be a lot of fun. Like the big dude can just like kick them or something and they go flying. I'm just like picturing this in my head. It would be fun. And yeah, it would. That's a ways in the future, but that's something I'd like to work towards. Now is too much people. But But yeah, I did a lot of, back at Pixar, I did a lot of physics coding. And so I built this physics system we used for a lot of things. Like if you've seen Up, we used it for like the balloons in Up. Or in Toy Story 3, if you've seen Toy Story 3, there's a big scene with trash at the end. We used it for a lot of trash there. And one of the neat things with that was I built it so that you could scale any physics thing up or down. And it would still basically behave the same way, which was super cool. So I had to do some kind of hacking the laws of physics there a little bit. But it made it really neat. And I'd love to kind of do something similar for Scene V2 or like a future version of the gameplay stuff where you could take like a spaz character or some other controllable character and just like scale them up and they would still just behave the same. Maybe they would be slower or something, but it would work. There is, with physics, there's a lot of, if you're doing physics-based stuff, it's pretty tricky to actually make something bigger or smaller because if you're familiar with physics, like one of the fundamental rules of physics is like volume scales cubically while surface area scales in a whatever, squared. Basically what that means is like muscle strength and joint strength and bone strength and all that, they don't scale the same as weight. So as a creature gets bigger, like it gets a lot heavier, but its muscles and its bones only get a little stronger. So that means like a large creature has to be built completely different than a small one. That's why if you look at insects, like their legs are out to the side and they're built like a certain way. But if you look at like an elephant, like as things get bigger, they're built totally different. Like their legs are straight under them and they're like super thick. They look like tree trunks. Like if you took an ant and you scaled that ant up to the size of an elephant, it would just collapse under its own weight. Like the laws of physics just don't work that way, unfortunately, which means like you can't like in the movies, you can't have like a giant ant destroying a city. It just like that physically wouldn't work. So it's interesting to try and work around that in physics. You can kind of cheat the laws of physics to make something work bigger. You just have to like scale like muscle strength and bone strength in a non-physical way and stuff like that. So anyway, nerding out a bit too much about it, but long story short is like that's why it's hard to make physics stuff like bigger or smaller. You have to like totally recalibrate the joint strengths and things like that for it to work. Like if you went into the spaz node and just scaled everything up, like I think it would just collapse on itself. But yeah, we'd have to, if we did make like a giant spaz character, yeah, I assume we'd just want to make it attack in a different way. Because yeah, a punch would just be too high. Like you wouldn't hit any of the lower ones. It would be funny to just like kick though. Or have him like swing a big club around. Like Sauron in the beginning of Lord of the Rings. just like wiping out 10 little mini spazzes at once. All right, how about we hop on and play at 11:30 my time, so in like 15 minutes. Oh, I see I missed a question. Any public API where... Get a list of current running servers. I don't remember if I made that public. I'd have to check on that one. Yeah, if you want to, try to remind me after this, I can check to see if that exists. Yeah, any sort of these mods like punch lower, etc., or making them kick instead of punch, like that would probably have to be done on the C++ level. So we'd probably have to like modify. I mean, at that point, there would be different stuff on the C++ level anyway to make a spaz that works as a giant instead of a regular size. We'd have to be editing all that stuff anyway. But just so you see where that would live, if you did want to get crazy and hack your local version. So it'd be source, Ballistica, Scene V1, node. This is where all the gameplay nodes live, and that would be spaznode.cc. So yeah, all the low-level like physicsy stuff lives here. Once again, this is C++ land, and this is a very large file, 7,000 lines of code. Spaz is a little messy here. Let's look for punch stuff. Punch, 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 punch. Set punch pressed. For holding something, throw it, blah, 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 blah. Somewhere there's little like rigid bodies that it makes. So when you're actually punching, what Spaz is actually doing, it creates this little like invisible sphere. So it's actually creating like a little, this little physics body thing, but it's invisible and it doesn't actually like, move around or whatever. It basically, if it's touching anything and colliding with anything, it just triggers a callback. So it basically tells the system like, hey, there's something in this sphere. And so then whatever's in that sphere, then we just apply a little force to it. So that's basically how punches work. It's just like this little, like detecting something in a sphere and hitting it with a little bit of force. So somewhere in here, you can see where it creates that sphere. Punch, body. Body, punch. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can see here, okay, here it creates the little punch rigid body, sets dimensions. So here's stuff you could hack if you were wanting to mess around with the game, like set the dimension to like twice as big, and then suddenly punches will affect, like a larger area. So if you did want him to punch lower, technically this is how you could do it, is just set values here like a little bit lower, and then the punch would apply to, a lower area. I need to get this stuff. Originally, when I was first writing this stuff, I had all this debuggable where, you could basically flip the mode over to rigid body mode, and you'd be able to like see these little spheres appear, which was useful for getting this stuff wired up. At some point, when I changed the graphics engine, when I rewrote the graphics engine, I took that mode out though, which is a bummer, which means it's kind of hard to debug things right now. Like you can't really see where the rigid bodies are. I need to get that mode working again one of these days. Oh, Artie said, avoided adding more content to the game, avoiding making it too heavy. Well, to clarify on that, what I wanted to avoid is I wanted to avoid like having the download be too big. I mean, the game is pretty small right now. It's like 60 or 70 megs or something, so people can download it pretty fast. So the reason I've avoided adding content up until now is because all of that had to go into the download. So if I added a ton of stuff, then suddenly people would be downloading 200 megs instead of 70 megs or whatever. And then, so the big thing with 1.8, as I mentioned, is it means you can download stuff on the fly. So if you join a server that's using a funny map, it will just download that when you join the server, which means like the base game can still be nice and small. It could even be smaller because some of the stuff that's built into the game right now, we could actually have that be downloaded. So, if there's some obscure map that never gets used that's currently included in the game, we could just have that be downloaded on the fly when you want to play that game. But anyway, so yeah, 1.8, the big nice feature there is it will open up the ability to add more maps and things without bloating the game. So I don't really have specifics in terms of what I want to add after 1.8. I've kind of been saying that I do want to take the opportunity to just make some new maps because it's been so long, or some new spazzes, new maps, just a few new things. I don't have any specifics in mind on what I'd want to add. It's more just like I want to take advantage of the new system a little bit. And then I also want to start like leaning on, people have made some awesome mods themselves, and some of them like conform to the game's style pretty well. People have made stuff out of building blocks and real live stuff and photos and all that. So I'd love to feature some of those or whatever, or make them maybe more easily accessible for everybody. So that's part of it too, is just getting that system in place so I can kind of spotlight some modders' work. I want to kind of be selective with that in terms of I want to limit that to stuff that I feel like it sticks very closely to the style of the game and all that. So I don't want it, it won't be like a total free for all. But if you do, people who do make stuff that looks very, very similar to the game, like I'd love to highlight that, like I said. Waiting for 1.8. Yes, I am. I feel like half of my screencasts anymore are just like apologizing for 1.8 taking so long. But yeah, it is what it is. Oh gosh, everyone's just calling me old. I need to work on my lighting. You can call me Grandpa, Uncle Eric, whatever you want to call me. But I'll fix my lighting, then I'll look less old next time maybe. Hoping for Steam release soon. So it's going to be a bit for the Steam release. Still 1.8 should be soon. I mean, maybe I can do like does anyone still do like Steam Early Access? Is that a thing? I could do like Steam Early Access maybe, but my thought right now is like if you want to mess with the PC version, just use one of the PC test builds down here. I know it's kind of annoying because you have to go download it every time there's an update, but at least it's something. All right, so yeah, 10 minutes till playtime. Grandpa Eric. Hey. I think 1.8 should be soon after 1737. I mean, I don't know how soon. There'll probably be the thing that always happens with these substantial updates, and 1737 is a substantial update, like that whole UI revamp, like that's pretty substantial. But the thing that usually happens with those is there's a few minor updates after that to just like fix bugs that show up. So, I mean, I'm sure there will be like a 1738 or 1739 to just fix bugs, if nothing else. But then hopefully 1.8 will be, not too far after. I really want to get 1.8 done. It's been way overdue. F5 hotkey, it was removed for a while. It should be back. If you want to check that out in the latest builds, whatever latest build is available. Anytime you're in the menu, let me try F5, boink. Yeah, F5 is working. It's not labeled anywhere. So yeah, grab the latest build and let me know if F5 is not working for you. But F5 should be working, and also the top controller button. So that stuff should be wired up again to bring down the chat window. Like I said, I think in Gather, it mentions that in Gather. It doesn't mention F5. It used to like show F5 up here. I could put that back in some case. But one thing, though, is that nowadays, if you're in a menu, you can also reach this, by just pressing up. You used to not be able to do that, so you had to use F5. But now it's just an option. So you can use F5 if you want, or you can navigate up if you want. So either way works. So let me know if you have any problems with any of that stuff. Why do you choose to set the text nodes in world always in front? Is there a specific? It's been a while since I've messed with like the in-world stuff. There might be a technical limitation for that. I'd have to see. I don't offhand remember what the in-world stuff is used for. Like if you have a particular case where that looks weird to have them always be in front or something, let me know. I can maybe jog my memory and answer that question. What way do you play Bomb Squad? Controller or keyboard? More often, most of the time I'm like coding and testing stuff, and then I usually just use the keyboard because it's easier. But if I'm playing for fun, I prefer a controller. I don't know. It just feels more... the game is kind of a console-style game, so I like the controller. Do you have a team that works with you on Bomb Squad? No. Just me. So that's why it is very slow getting everything done. But though it has been extra slow this last few months because if you haven't been here, I was moving to a new city. That in itself was a huge thing. Had some visitors. There's just been a lot going on that's been slowing me down. But it's finally this week has been my first kind of normal work week after the move and everything. So it's been great. I've been getting a lot done. So I'm hoping for more of that. Finally get 1. I was hoping to get 1.8 done before this move happened because I knew this is gonna just kick my butt in terms of productivity. But unfortunately I did not. So that means 1.8 is just dragged out a lot longer. What's your height? So many questions today. I am 5'10", as we in the US strangely do not use the metric system generally. So I'm 5'10". I'm not sure what that is in like centimeters. Oh, did my audio, can you not hear me? Oh, weird. Maybe, is that, I don't know why that, okay, that was weird. Random mic mute. Yeah, I don't think I did that on purpose. How about, can you still hear me now? Is it something with like having Bomb Squad in the foreground or something? I hope not. Can anyone confirm? Okay, still fine? Okay, weird. Just a random mic mute. Well, there was that time a few times ago where it just like stopped streaming all of a sudden. I assume it was just like some weird hardware glitch or something. I didn't know Bomb Squad could mute your mic either. So yeah, I think I will join the server using my random little build here. It's a good way to like test it and make sure I haven't broken anything. 4 minutes. T-minus 4 minutes. Oh no, yeah, that's always fun when you crank the audio because you think something's broken and then it comes back. It just destroys your ears. I need tokens. I'm trying to get this update done so then we can, oh, actually, well, tokens, there might be, like, that's another thing I got to think about. Like, maybe it would be cool to give people a few tokens per day, or like maybe a few tokens will show up like in treasure chests or something like that. It's just something I have to balance because I mean, like I said, the whole purpose of tokens is to have a separate currency that is basically only purchased with real money, just because that simplifies things for me. So I don't have to get all messy with having tickets be like half earned in game and half paid for, and like this weird, messy, balancing act. So that means I can't like, tokens will mostly not be available in the game. It'll mostly be just something you either have to, purchase or get a gold pass and then never purchase, never purchase again. But it could be cool to like, I don't know, maybe have a few of them be earnable per day or something, just like not many, but a few. If so, I would have to make it like very limited, just so I don't want to get into a situation like with tickets where it was very, wishy-washy. So anyway, what's the chest in new UI? I went over that already, but I can briefly go over again. So the chest in the new UI, that'll be basically how you earn everything. Like when you win a game, when you win a tournament, whatever, it'll give you a chest. That chest will open after a certain amount of time, or you can use tokens to open them faster. And so that's basically most of the purpose of tokens existing will just be to like open chests faster, if you want. Chests will not be purchasable by themselves. Chests are only earnable by in-game stuff. So that, yeah, hopefully that answers the question. So the whole point of tokens is just like a way to, speed up certain weights in game if you want. I want it to still be fun if you don't speed them up though. So like I'm, trying to balance that. So yeah, it'll be for opening chests, which will contain, for now, like chests will mostly contain tickets. So like when you do something cool, you'll get a chest. That chest will have tickets, but it might have some other stuff in there in the future. We'll see. What is this? Is this like phonetic? Like how you would type it? Like what language would that be? Or is that something I am not familiar with, like a real person? We have 2 minutes. We can't join yet. I can do ticket giveaways and things. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, if you're seeing this message, if you're still signed in with an account like this, like an account 2840, or device account, if you press the like sign in with device or sign in as device account, whatever it was called, you do want to upgrade. Like you should upgrade and get a V2 account. You'll just have to like enter an email or something. And most of the time, if you're playing on Google Play or on the official, like the Mac App Store version, you'll just be signed in with Google Play Games or Game Center, which that also is a V2 account. But if all you have is this old device account, then you do want to do this and upgrade your account. Because V1 accounts, like old device accounts, will no longer, they'll still work in like this version, but you won't get most things like, you won't be able to like buy tokens, or I think the store won't work anymore. Like most stuff won't work for you anymore if you only have a V1 account. So I would highly suggest upgrading to a V2 account if you're still rocking an old device account. Ooh, my favorite sport. I don't really have a favorite sport at the moment. I've gone through phases. For a while, I was a hockey person. I feel like I'm kind of a fair weather fan. It's just like if one of my local teams is like doing well, then that's my favorite sport. So being here in San Francisco, I don't know if I have a... The Golden State Warriors were doing well in basketball for a while. I wouldn't say basketball was my favorite sport though. Like American football has been fun at times, like when my teams are doing good. Baseball is fun. Just went to a baseball game a few weeks ago, like the last one of the season. The season's just about over. All right, so speaking of season and playing or whatever, it's just about time to hop in. So let's do some playing. Gas or electric cars? We have an old used car. It's a gas car. Electric car would be cool, or a hybrid or something. But yeah, I'm not super opinionated. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna hop in. Hopefully, does my controller have battery? Playing with you. Well, whoever, as a word of warning, I'm never terribly good. I want to blame some of it on the lag, but realistically, it's, y'all are just better than me. So what are we, private, what was the, oh yeah. Merp. All right, let's do this. Shrink my old self down. Yeah, I heard beach buggy racing does, or no, hill climb racing. I was gonna say I heard that they did a similar thing with chests or something. Like I said, I think it's a common system. Mer? Oops. I wasn't even paying attention. Did I just vote kick like a good person? Wait a second. I joined with a keyboard. Okay, well if I vote kicked a racist, that's okay then. Oh, right. I forgot the silly. It's not silly, it's a good rule. There's all these little rules that have been added slowly over time for people finding exploits, like, oh, just rejoin the server and you can win free for all or whatever. Nice. Oh geez. I'm so bad. I'm like reading chat and just getting thrown off. Oh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Run away! Haha! Oops. Alright. I can do this. I got a kill. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, I had a point. Oh my gosh. I just got beaten to a pulp. Ouch. Y'all are so mean to me. No, it's all good. I need to get better here. I feel like I did decent last week, so I think I got a big head. I'm being put back in my place now, though. Yeesh. Oh my gosh. Oops. Yeah, this is it's a wacky playlist. I love it. I don't know if I've ever actually played this on Epic mode. It's kind of interesting. Whoa, I keep killing myself instantly at the top. Oh! Had a brief, glorious moment with the flag, but it's over now. Yeah, it's kind of fun. So many ridiculous sounds happening. No! I am curious, like I know the game uses too much bandwidth. I'm curious like how big a server can get before it starts being causing problems for the average player. I haven't actually like tested that. I clamped, by default I kind of clamp it at 8. There's like soft clamps, but theoretically it can go up to 255. I'm sure that would be really nasty for bandwidth. Oof! Oh! I thought someone did a PR to add co-op modes for private parties. Maybe I'm thinking something else. Yeah, I think there are some limits on, like players on private parties and stuff too, because it's running on my servers, so I need to like be careful that people don't do something that's gonna like burn through a gigabyte of memory or something. Yeah, this one is definitely taking a while. Kind of fun though. This makes me think if there was a game where there's like little spaceships flying around like this and like kind of slower paced but still physicsy, it could be kind of cool. That was kind of fun to watch, just like the random flailing bodies. Oof. Ha No! Oh, my face. So co-op modes in private parties, that has been, like I said, I thought someone had added that, or I thought there was a PR or something for that, but I guess maybe not. I know that's been a request a lot. There's kind of technical challenges doing that. That is kind of part of the reason of like squads mode, so that's a big focus of 1.9 will be getting squads mode working. The idea is that it should be easy to do co-op games with your friends using a squad. So that is on the radar. It's just like getting the existing co-op stuff working with private parties might be tricky. Oh, I think what was added was you can host a game of co-op stuff, but I think I haven't exposed that in private parties. So actually, maybe that wouldn't be too hard to expose. I could take a look. But yeah, that would be useful, because yeah, playing with friends, that would be fun. Ah! Man, this one's taking a while. Farewell! Goodbye, cruel world! Yeah, my feedback for this playlist, I feel like the time limit on this one should probably be set lower. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did anyone get disconnected? Oh, geez. All right. Well, that's embarrassing. I'm curious if that shows up on the logs. Yeah, I don't like server crashes. Huh. I will have to look into that. Weird. Okay. All right, we're doing this one. I should maybe put a timer on here or something. Well, no, I don't know. Sometimes it's good to like, maybe for like public games it would have a timer. Like if you're just playing with your friends, you can usually like yell at someone until they click ready. All right, who's not pressing ready? Hooray. Uh-oh. It's this again. Ouch. Okay. Uh-oh, stop that bear. Oh no! No! I suppose I should learn the ancient art of bomb jumping. Whoa! Alright. Didn't get 0. Haha. Well done, bear. Well done. Uh-oh. That's not good. Oh, what a bear. Alright, I'll do one more round here. I gotta do better than that. That was pretty bad. Oof. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I have my lag meter turned off. I usually have that turned on. It feels about the normal laggy. I assume this is somewhere in Europe or something? I can't blame my poor performance on lag, though. I'm just bad. The code should be up a bit. Uh-oh. Is Nameless Bear gonna win again? Uh-oh. Oh, nice throw. That is one unstoppable nameless bear. Oh. Oh man, this is big. It's like such a clash of the titans. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, nameless bear. Farewell. Just how it is. You gotta. Sometimes you just gotta break a few fingers. Oh. No, nameless bear. No, I look at chat. I'm just looking at the game too. I mean, I don't, yeah. Guilty as charged. If I'm talking, I forget to look at chat for like minutes at a time. Nintendo, like the original NES, like the 8-bit one? No problem, no problem. For some... Well, congrats. Everyone's doing it. Oh, ah, man. This broke my neck. Uh-oh, nameless bear is ahead again. Stop that bear. Oof. Goodbye, cruel world. Stop the bear, stop the bear. No. Ah. Well, good job, Nameless Bear. You are quite the player. I know, yeah. Who is the bear? I'm curious. All right, I got to hop out now. We're overtime, so, but that was fun. So really, who is the bear? I'm curious. But yeah, no, that's fun to watch. Like the 1v1 showdown there for elimination. It's like, man, y'all are good. So, aw. Well, I hope I didn't disappoint you too much. But yeah, it's fun to play with you guys. So anyway, I guess, yeah, I probably should be wrapping up here. We're over the 2-hour mark. Been fun. Anyone have any last questions, comments, thoughts? Poetry? Aw. Thanks, guys. You guys are the best. Cool. All right, well, I will get back to work on this stuff. I am hopefully, now that I'm basically back in a normal work schedule, I can finally get this toolbar stuff wrapped up and finally get 1737 out the door. Move on to more exciting things. Motion blur. No. It does look cool with motion blur. That would be, not to get it back into a different topic, but yeah, it'd be fun to, pimp out the graphics and make, fancy stuff, more like motion blur and all that, get that in there. A lot of it you can just do with, I think what probably this is, right, is like, just like shader-based machine learning type stuff or something, right? Or some fancy schmancy automatic thing. Used to be a lot of work to like code up an engine to do motion blur, but it's like it might be possible to do it now, like kind of just with a fancy GPU. $2063. See, this is why I don't give dates, or I try not to, because yeah, I'm never good at hitting them. But all I can promise to do is keep on coding. Enjoy it. Oh, cool. That's kind of cool. It has kind of a cool. Kind of a cool feel to it. Has that like yellow overcast. It's like in the movies. Anytime, have you seen the memes, like the jokes where it's like anytime they show like Mexico in a movie, it's always got that like yellow or orange overcast to everything. But then if you go up north by half an hour into California, it doesn't. So it's always just like movies just do that. If you're in Mexico, it has to look yellow. It's cool look though, very sunny looking. Oh, that's kind of cool. I would like to, revamp some stuff on B9000 a little bit. Like, so that'd be fun to maybe get some more like machiney sort of sounds or something. All right. Well, anyway, I'm gonna call it for now, and it's been fun. Hopefully, I'll have more exciting stuff to show next time. Kill this guy with hammers. But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out and playing, and I will see all of you folks in the next episode. Probably should be in 2 weeks, I think. I'll let you know if not. So, bye bye.